everyone. Today we have a very special topic. But first, I believe for all of you, school is over and it's summertime. So I want to ask you, what is your favorite thing about summer? Whether that's the nice weather outside, so when it's not too hot and humid, or the nature, like for example, a lot of different plants growing, the green scenery and the backyard and flowers, and even wildlife like the bird sounds, or picnics. So you get the chance to drink cold beverages, eat ice cream and fruits like watermelon, or whether that's traveling or a favorite family activity. So for me, that would be camping. So I like going hiking and boating and visiting different landscapes and even doing wildlife scavenger hunts. And of course, at night, we have roasting marshmallows and gazing at the stars. So, what is your favorite thing about summer? I want you to think about that. And yeah, summer is the perfect time for fun, relaxing, and adventurous experiences, which make good stories for, well, you guessed it, comics. There are many comics, illustrations, graphic novels, and stories about summer, which brings us to today's topic, which is drawing our own comics about summer. So, as you all know, our experiences and our memories make great comics. So, whether those are heartwarming comics, mini stories, or funny comics. So, for the first part, let's brainstorm a bit together about how we feel about summer. So, here is the first question. What are your hopes or plans for the summer? So, what do you hope or plan to do for the summer? So, I want to spend more time with my family, like, for example, going camping or watching movies. And obviously, I want to spend more time outside because the weather is good when it's not too hot. And I also want to draw a lot during my free time. So, some other ideas are maybe going swimming, whether that's outdoors or indoors, going for picnics or walks, planting something in your garden, or going to the beach. And that's a classic summer activity. So, after you thought about your ideas, you can use these ideas to think of fun comics or stories. So, for example, maybe you want to draw a comic about your hopes for going camping, or maybe something you want to do while relaxing by the beach or looking at wildlife, etc. Now that we thought about what we want to do in the future, let's head back to our past summers. So, what interesting things already happened to you in the summer? So, some funny things is that I always get mosquito bites as soon as I go out the door in a hot summer day. And yeah, obviously, there are some annoying things about summer. For example, the bugs, the heat, the sweat, and maybe overcrowded places. But there are also some very fun stuff and fun memories about summer. So, my best memory about summer is camping. So I always like to go camping with my family, and we like to go boating and hiking, and as I've already said, gazing at the stars. And some other ideas are maybe playing in the backyard or hanging out with your friends or going to an amusement park or maybe just eating ice cream. So thinking of your summer memories help you think of your life experiences in a humorous way, which you can then transform into comics. Now there's one more thing to think about, which is how you feel about all those experiences. Because as you all know, funny and exaggerated expressions are one of the best parts about reading comics. So drawing down how you feel about those experiences will make your comics very funny or heartwarming. So how do you feel about your summer experiences? Maybe for those annoyed parts about summer, you feel annoyed, or maybe for those great memories about summer, you feel maybe nostalgic, or you feel excited every time you're about to do those activities again, and maybe you feel very cheerful and joyful because of the weather, whatever it is for you. So you can choose your favorite idea for your comics. So, what you hope you plan to do for the summer, or what interesting things already happened to you in the summer, and how you feel about that idea. Now that we gathered all those amazing ideas for our summer comics, how should we transform them into comics? Well, there are many different types of comics we can get inspiration from. Let's see. So, first, we have the classic four panel comic. It follows the basic story mountain, which we already learned about. So, the beginning, and then rising action, and then the climax, and then the falling action, like a mountain. So, here are some examples. The first one is about this mini seashell story. So, this person, or it looks like a penguin, goes to the beach, and the narration says, "Don't pick up a shell." And then the little penguin guy says, "Oh," and listen to the ocean. Ah, unless it's crab free. So that's a joke at the end. And then we have another comic about a artist's perfect personal experience. So it says, "Autumn, oh, it's not summer anymore, and the winter, I want summer. Spring, it's almost summer, and summer, I miss winter because of the heat." And many of you might find that relatable. Here's some more examples. "Oh, I'm a hill, you can roll down me, and I'm a field, you can run through me. I'm the rocks, you can climb on me, and I am the sea. Do not test me, I will end you," because the sea is kind of dangerous. And then the next comic, which is this, there's no dialogue or text in this comic, but the artist uses simply gestures and expressions to show the whatever she finds funny. So this artist sitting down, and as you know, because of the heat in the summer, your legs, if you're not wearing like long pants, they kind of stick to some chairs. And this is what happened in this comic. And that definitely did happen to me. Then, after four panel comics, another type of comic is two panel comics. So many of these are based on the before versus after, or expectations versus reality. But we also have some other examples. So here you can see, "Is there anything more lovely than a summer campfire?" And then 2 weeks later, "I can't get the smell of smoke out of my hair." So that's the first comic there. And yeah, that always happens to me when I go camping. And the second one, "The cool bathing suit. I like the reflective white stripe in the middle. This is a two-piece." That never happened to me, but I just find this really funny. It's also kind of like an example of a two-panel comic, so like a mini story or a joke. And next we have this comparison comic, so it compares two different things. So here is, there are two types of people. And the first person says, "I love summer, it can never be too hot." And then the second one, there's this person melting because of the heat. And which one are you? And then the next comic, there are no dialogues, but it just uses images and expressions and things like that to express the joke. So first, tropical heat on holiday. First person relaxing in the water, very cool, very chill. And then tropical heat at home. This person melting in sweat. And you can see the colors the artist used to express the temperature. So the first one in the water, you very cool colors, but you can still see that it's summer. And then the second one, just only red, orange, and yellow, very hot, and some black as well. Now we have comic stories. So this is similar to four panel comics, but it tells a story using more panels. Or not exactly like a four panel comic with the story mountain or a two panel comic comparison, but a comic that tells a story that it doesn't have to be funny. So here we have an example of a three panel comic. So I think this is the boy and his brother, and then the boy's saying, dang it, because he can't put the sunscreen on. And then he says, not a drop, now what? And the brother or dad, I don't know, says alternative sunscreen and points to the tree. It's not like the four panel comic, which there is a joke at the end, but this one tells a story about maybe a day in the summer of these two people. And a comic story, it can be however long you like. So maybe it can be a three panel comic like this, or maybe you can fill a page or more. And last but not least, we have summer themed illustrations. So this can be a drawing of a character or one drawing that shows something funny, like a joke or pun. And here for the examples, we have these illustrations of these characters in summer scenery. So the first one, we have this person running with his dog on a beach. And then the second one, we have this girl lying in a watermelon field with a lot of watermelons. And then last, we have this maybe a couple, so these two people rowing on a boat, and the weather is really nice. And you can notice the colors that the artists use to show the summer weather. So for the first one, there are these big waves over here and on the beach, which obviously shows that it's summer. Mm, but this artist also uses these blocks of black over here for the trees. So it seems very like, although the artist uses only cool colors, it still seems like very summery. And then for the next one, we have a lot of watermelons, which obviously shows that it's summer. And so a lot of green, but then the inside of the watermelon, which is red, it really pops out of the scenery. And then for the last one, we have these two people rowing in a boat, and we have this two blocks of blue. So one for the sky and one for the lake or river or whatever. And then we have these different hues of trees in the of green in the middle for the trees. So clear skies and trees and green scenery that shows summer, and it looks very sunny in this illustration. So just notice how the color and the style of the illustration show the mood of summer. And now let's see some of my comics that I drew on about summer. So these comics I drew on paper and then I scanned it. So the first one, it said, this is me, and I'm saying, it's finally summer. And then the second panel, I see this mosquito flying towards me. And then the last panel, I'm getting bitten by mosquitoes. And this is kind of not an exaggeration. This actually always happens to me. I don't know why I keep getting bitten by mosquitoes. They just like my blood, I guess. And then now we have this two panel comic. So the last one was a three panel comic, and now I have a two panel comic here. And it's a comparison comic. So my sister's hair in the wind, it looks very beautiful. It just flows naturally. And then my hair in the wind, it gets into my mouth and I try to get it away, and it's not graceful at all. And last but not least, we have a four panel comic about me and my brother. So my brother says, hey, can I go catch some gypsy moth caterpillars over there? And then I'm saying, sure, catch all you want. They're an invasive species. So those caterpillars, they're not natural to the area where I live. So they're an invasive species. So I'm just saying, okay, you can go catch them, whatever. Because my brother likes to catch caterpillars. And then later, my brother holds a jar saying, look at how many I caught. And in the last panel, there's no dialogue. It just shows a bunch of caterpillars in the jar. And this is a true story as well. I'm not even exaggerating. That is actually how many caterpillars he caught, like in a few minutes. Now, it's drawing time. Let's all get started drawing our summer comics. Have fun!